As people are relocated to newer homes and nearby areas like Gorbals are being...
Manchester.
I was on the picket line as a 9-year-old and I used to get sent for eggs and food for them inside. And then I kept asking who was occupying and they never told me.
Closed, both in Calder Street. Pollokshaws, they'd taken their baths away, and I think they thought, we'll just get away with it again.
Road.
It was as if it was a person. To me, it was female. Sometimes the stone was so beautiful, and it would suddenly the sun shines, and the red sandstone's lovely, and I would go on my way to my work, and I just go, oh, you're looking great.
The first time any of the protesters... While many were initially happy to see the back of crowded tenement living, the corporation's decisions were also met with opposition. There was a sense of cultural destruction, a feeling that the identity of the city was being forcibly rewritten, summed up here by the folk musician Adam McNaughton in a recording he did with Hamish Henderson.
For nearly 60 years was recovering. When they ordered us to go, we just tell them point blank, no, you can go and jump in Scotland's only lake. Order to us to...
I would come over mainly during the summer holidays for adventures with my cousin.
Turn right.
Including Queen's Park roller skating.
Neil.
And going amongst these canyons of dark tenements. But we also came to Govanhill Baths. But
in 200 yards, turn left onto Finchley Road.
Environment of Glasgow in the early 60s, where clearance hadn't yet started of tenements to any scale. It was an oasis. As a Glaswegian school.
Turn left onto Finchley Road.
Part of the civic services that were provided. In fact, even at school at that time, we had a textbook that was all about Glasgow, and it helped instill pride in the city.
Around Scotland, Ireland and all over the world to work in Glasgow. This continues right through the 20th century. There's a long-standing South Asian community here, and after the 1947 partition of British India, millions of people were displaced. Some of these people come to make their homes in Govanhill, and the privacy and safety of the gender-separated pools become an invaluable resource for many of these new Scots.
And that time, it wasn't very nice outside in the street. It was a lot of fighting, gang fighting, and it wasn't really safe for us even to be in our street. The Baths was considered to be a safe place. I was allowed to go there, and I would take my younger brother with me. So we just walk up McCulloch Street, right along Kenmure Street, and up to Calder Street Baths. There, it was fantastic. We could just swim away, me and my brother.
Once a week, we came here for swimming. It was a good opportunity for the women and the children. So at that time, I learned as well how to swim, because before that, I'd never swam.
The 1960s, Glasgow decided to promote a swimming team, and Calder Street was the main pool.
I had a meeting with the president, and I said, now look, if we want to go forward, we've got to get a plan where there is no discrimination. In future, entry to any teams would be based on ability only, regardless of...
Continue on Finchley Road for 1 mile.
...or what religion you were. In the next 4 years, the club moved from about 25th in Scotland to 5th.
As people are relocated to newer homes and nearby areas like Gorbals are being torn down and built back up anew, Govanhill Baths remains, welcoming in new Scots and new generations of Glaswegians for washing clothes, bathing, swimming and connecting.
When I came along to visit the place, it was like peeling the layers back as I walked in, because I haven't been here for so long. And every sort of step I took, it was like everything just, the doors were opening in my head. Colour palette, the smell. The smell
was the thing. The changing rooms. The changing rooms were like a horse box. The top of it was open.
You could wear clothes that would come off quickly. So there wasn't many buttons to come off, you know.
You could hang over the changing room and watch everything happening.
The thrill of the doors opening and seeing the pool full of people, and it was just that buzz, the atmosphere.
Every time someone dropped a swimming costume or anything else, they would bend down to pick it up. You would get a little flash of someone's bottom.
first time we went there, I just marched straight into the water and didn't look back. And poor old mum was having a fit. Talk about like a duck to water. I just loved the water immediately.
The system they had for getting you out of the pool. The wee lady used to come along and bang the doors open, and she'd shout your number. And if you didn't turn up, you'd get out of there, come on, shout.
So there was no way you could have said, oh, I never helped you, missus.
And if you didn't, so they used to come and get the towel and hold it over the water.
There was just nothing else to have something like that.
And then on the way back, my hair blowing in the wind, and I would go back into our house and shut the door.
There's a speed camera ahead.
Wait until our next treat again.
Also celebrating an anniversary this year's Kinnan Park complex. That's celebrating 30 years of
In Glasgow, Maryhill Baths and Whitevale Baths were closed, alongside Whiteinch, Pollokshaws, Govan and Chesterton. Each was met with local resistance, but none that was able to stop the closure fully. In 2000, people in Govanhill were getting wind that the council were planning to close the pool.
Helen Kyle's on the
Govanhill was
there's
they
a
were taking
document that
everything
says like how
things
can
like
you
the
help
rescue
out?
clinic
And Helen
closed,
Kyle's one
social
says
work department.
I can share
In Glasgow,
information about
Maryhill
occupying
Baths and
buildings. Like,
Whitevale
I can share
Baths
my
were
experience
closed,
of being an
alongside
occupier
Whiteinch,
So it's a
Pollokshaws,
really
Govan
beautiful
and
demonstration of the
Chesterton.
connection
Each was
between
met
these
with local
movements and the fact
resistance,
that
but none
people are
that was able
building
to
up
stop
knowledge
the
of
closure
this,
fully.
the occupation
In
as a
2000,
tactic.
people in Govanhill were getting wind that the council were planning to close the pool.
I think the problem in Govanhill was they were taking everything away. Things like the breast screening clinics closed, the social work department.
She'd made hundreds of little water bombs from freezer bags, and I just thought, oh, how fantastic! The idea of not touching the police, because the police seriously were seen as supporting the council and sheriff's officers against the ordinary people. So we thought, we'll let these go, and we did. We threw them at the police, and then the shopkeepers brought fruit and vegetables, which we threw at the police, and then we thought, wow, let's get some eggs.
During the day we've seen singing, we've been dancing.
We've heard that you're going to do yoga.
People donated walkie-talkies and that.
In 200 yards, continue straight onto Finchley Road.
The security could listen and the police, so we had to use a different code. You would laugh at some of the things we got up to, because you used to say, what they talking about? A code 23, you know, what's the code 19, you know? To this day, they still don't know what it is, but we all knew what it was.
Continue straight onto Finchley Road.
The papers in the morning, or can somebody bring in more food?
Use them, and I said, use them. And so we went and got opened it up. She'd made hundreds of little water bombs from freezer bags, and I just thought, oh, how fantastic! The idea of not touching the police, because the police seriously were seen as supporting the council and sheriff's officers against the ordinary people. So we thought, we'll let these go, and we did. We threw them at the police. And then the shopkeepers brought fruit and vegetables, which we threw at the police. And then we thought, wow, let's get some eggs.
During the day we've seen singing, we've
Around
been dancing.
Glasgow, automatic laundries are popping
There's
up,
been lots of
and
people
by
flashing dustbin lids and
1973
all
the
that
washing
sort of thing.
stalls in the Govanhill Steenie are
Continue
taken
on
out
Finchley
and
Road
replaced
for
with
2
washing
miles.
machines. In the mid-1970s, the Bath and Wash Houses Department is merged with the Parks Department, and as laundrettes pose competition and more people have machines in their own homes, traditional steamies, the wheels of progress are grinding, and many feel that as the structural fabric of the city is being torn apart, so too is the sense of communal life and civic dignity.
This isn't a political argument, this is a common sense argument, and we know none of us like to lose anything, but when it gets to a stage in life where something's really running away with ratepayers' money, someone has to do something.
It's supposed to be a public washout. It's for the public, so why are they closing it when it belongs to the public and we pay the rates for it? Why close it?
Well, the council says losing lots of money.
It's absolutely ridiculous. They're losing the money, not the washout. It's the count when they can sit there knitting and reading books and chewing sweets all afternoon like they were yesterday. That's what they want to do. It's them that want throwing out, not the washout.
By 1987, the Govanhill Steamie is the sole survivor in Scotland. In many cases, women had banded together in attempts to save their steamy, but in the end they always lost. Across Britain, baths and wash houses were facing tough times.
The corporation has already closed the local hot baths on which the old age pensioners relied. Now it threatens to shut the swimming pool.
Why are the baths closing down, Tom?
Well, you reckon that it's amazing. They're closing all the baths down for one day. The corporation are trying to save money, you see.
And in the meantime, Britain saw the rise of a new kind of pool, the leisure pool.
Under its roof is almost every mod con that the leisure age demands. A swimming pool, a concert hall, then there are squash courts, baths, and a host of rooms set aside for hobbies and games.
In the 1970s, Edwardian and Victorian baths began to be bulldozed, but Scotland led the way.
In a quarter of a mile, use the left lane.
And build a new £2.6 million leisure pool. The new pool would be irregular.
Turn left onto the slip road. Then, continue straight.
Competitive swimming and make
campaigns were set up to save the Silchester baths in London, Maiden baths in Lancashire, the Latchmere baths in Battersea.
Continue straight.
And against the rising tensions between sweeping public cuts and an organising public sector, in September 1979, hundreds
in
of
100
people
yards
occupied the Fulham
at the
baths in
roundabout,
London
take the third
to protest
exit.
against the announcement of the closure.
Fulham's battling granny, Mrs. Alice Davis, has lost her fight to save local swimming baths. 76-year-old Mrs. Davis led a 14-month occupation of the North End Road baths. But today, the High Court said the council was within its rights to demolish them. The final decision to knock down the 3 pools and the laundry was made in August.
The 80s ticked along, and under Thatcher, private companies emerged through compulsory competitive tendering.
Exit
Many
the roundabout.
pools were transferred to private management, and for those that were still under council control, many faced the chopping block as councils were on a mission to cut spending.
For most of Britain's local authorities, management buyouts represent uncharted territory. Today's new report from the Audit Commission is an attempt to guide them around some of its most dangerous pitfalls.
Continue on North Circular Road for 3/4 of a mile.
Are in danger of sacrificing the public interest to private gain.
In Glasgow, Maryhill baths and Whitevale baths were closed, alongside Whiteinch, Pollokshaws, Govan and Shettleston. Each was met with local resistance, but none that was able to stop the closure fully. In 2000, people in Govan Hill were getting wind that the council were planning to close the pool.
I think the problem in Govan Hill was they were taking everything away. Things like the breast screening clinic had closed, the social work department had closed, both in Calder Street. Pollokshaws, they'd taken their baths away, and I think they thought, we'll just get away with it again. But there's quite a particular mix of people in Govan Hill.
I came 3 times a week. I was here sitting outside. We gave out leaflets to people. We explained why we were here, and we sang songs like we don't want to go to Bellahouston. They wanted us to go to the new pool in Bellahouston or to the Gorbals. So there was a song about why that wasn't going to be suitable, because we lived here in Govan.
Hundreds of little water bombs from freezer bags. And I just thought, oh, how fantastic. The idea of not touching the police, because the police seriously were seen as supporting the council and sheriff's officers against the ordinary people. So we thought, we'll let these go. And we did. We threw them at the police. And then the shopkeepers brought fruit and vegetables, which we threw at the police. And then we thought, let's get some eggs.
Keep the story in the news.
Full food down south would be interested, so you'd be sending me information.
Continue straight onto Barnet Bypass.
Campaigns, we call one in Manchester.
I was on the picket line as a 9-year-old, and I used to get sent for eggs and food for them inside. And then I kept asking who was occupying, and they never told me. But it turned out to be everyone that was around.
So Mum would pick me up from primary school, and we would come and do the afternoon shift in the picket line, and I would march up and down dressed as a policeman and annoy the police that were here.
We knew one of the best ways to get our message across and engage with our community was through creative
Continue
work.
on North Circular Road for 4 miles.
Whether it was giving kids chalk to decorate the street, that creative element in our campaigns key to our messaging.
She'd made hundreds of little water bombs from freezer bags. And I just thought, oh, how fantastic.
And a lot of very close friendships were made in the course of the campaign.
At any time, and so we had sort of a phone tree, and I just lived across the road, so I was one of the first people and my phone started going about 4 in the morning, and it kept cutting out, so I thought the picket line were at it. I thought they think they're funny. So I came down and said, I'm going to go and tell them to stop that, I'm trying to sleep. And I opened the door at the bottom and we closed, the picket line was standing there, and they just said, that's them, they've come. Our plan was that you would have a whistle and you would make as much noise in the street as you could to attract attention. But because I'd come down the stairs thinking they were at it, I didn't bring anything with me. So I had no whistle, I had nothing to make a noise, so I just ran down Calder Street screaming, help.
I heard Nicola screaming in the street, and I got up, got dressed, came outside, and Alan, he came into my house and he started to phone everybody to waken everybody up, and I was out there till about just the back of 7. At this time we got a rope, don't know where the heck it came from.
I took a ball of string, I blocked off that road. On the 4 traffic lights with a ball of string and bin lids, and people just sat in the middle of the string up there and just banged the lids to wake people up.
During rush hour saw the Save the Pool campaigners blocking the traffic on one of the main roads on the south side of Glasgow. The same tactics that saw this morning's traffic into the city turn back.
Early on, the community atmosphere was really, although people were angry about what was happening, there was quite a good atmosphere.
We did the hokey cokey every 10 minutes, which annoyed the police a lot.
But I mean, I've never done anything like that in my life. Just get caught up in it. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
This little old lady came with a big bag, and I was busy running around with a megaphone trying to organise stuff, and she said, this is for you people, it will help you win. And I thought I would sandwich it for something. And then I hadn't looked at it, and she came back, and she said, did you use them? And I said, use them. And so we went and opened it up. She'd made hundreds of little water bombs from freezer bags. And I just thought, oh, how fantastic. The idea of not touching the police, because the police seriously were seen as supporting the council and sheriff's officers against the ordinary people. So we thought, we'll let these go. And we did. We threw them at the police. And then the shopkeepers brought fruit and vegetables, which we threw at the police. And then we thought, let's get some eggs.
During the day we've seen singing, we've been dancing. It's been quite good humoured here. There's been lots of people bashing dustbin lids and all that sort of thing.
5 police officers have been injured overnight in clashes with protesters outside a swimming pool in Glasgow. More than 200 people were demonstrating against the closure of the pool in Govan Hill. 5 people have been arrested.
That day, when the sheriff officers came to take the building back, has now come to be known by locals as the Battle of Calder Street.
The day after the Battle of Calder Street, we were absolutely devastated. There was a large group of people who just automatically turned up in the morning to do their picket line shift. And suddenly people turned up with brooms, people turned up with a tent. So even though we'd lost the inside of the building, that determination organically grew into a 24-hour picket line again. We wanted to show the community that we were still here. We wanted to show the council that we were not going to let go.
People continued to meet every week, and over a few years this led to the creation of the Govan Hill Baths Community Trust. Knowing there would be a huge gap in wellbeing provisions in the area, they began coordinating and running exercise classes and community activities from a small office just across the road. From a distance, they kept a close eye on the baths. She's lying empty, dormant.
But every day that the building was still physically there was like it was a victory. And I used to come
In a quarter of a mile, use the right 2 lanes to turn right onto Bowes Road.
It was as if it was a person. To me, it was female. Sometimes the stone was so beautiful, and it would suddenly the sun shines, and the red sandstone was lovely, and I would go on my way to my work, and I just go, oh, you're looking great.
The first time any of the protesters got back into the building was 7 years after the Battle of Calder Street, at Doors Open Day, when the people of Glasgow can access buildings they normally aren't allowed into.
It was the largest attended Doors Open Day in Glasgow, and it was a derelict building. Going into the building was really, really upsetting. The sheriff's officers are obviously looking for campaigners who'd been well hidden, had done a lot of damage, but also the general decay of an empty building. We spent a lot of time cleaning it up.
The campaigners ploughed on, and by 2012 they managed to get back into the building for more than just the odd day.
Is due to reopen in Glasgow within the next few minutes after an 11-year campaign by local people. The Govanhill Save Our Pool campaign led to a 7-month occupation of the building. The facility is in the process of being refurbished as a wellbeing
Use the
centre,
right 2 lanes
which
to
can be
turn
used by
right onto
residents.
Bowes Road.
There was a grand opening ceremony and a huge sense of optimism.
It's not quite a flyover, but it's no bad. It's a kind of truck vibe.
The reason it came about is because the council had a fund where participatory budgeting would determine where it would go. So the community got together, all the community organisations, and I mean there are a lot of worthy organisations there, from drug rehabilitation projects right through to projects for children and women and so on. But the group decided that half of that money would go to the baths.
The National Theatre of Scotland has paid £80,000 to stage a production in the Govanhill Baths in October, right here in the toddlers' pool, where thousands of Govanhill youngsters mastered their first strokes. And during phase 1 of the refurbishment, this place will be reinstated.
And whilst the 2 big pools remained empty, they managed to reopen the learners' pool.
It wasn't just a place where people learned to swim. We had a baptism in there. We had women from the Sami community able to use a swimming pool. No one could see them. The safety of that was just absolutely beautiful.
They ran all kinds of well-being and cultural activities from inside the building, from